endorse that.
Chris and my glittering racing career, advocates of that, aren't we? Not. Let's move on.
Well, he knows if he can get past, there's potentially another place to be gained not that far up the road. But the longer this goes on, the more the gap begins to grow. And even then, if he gets places, he'll still be outside of the points.
Yeah, it's the points finish that I predicted was a possibility is ebbing away, isn't it?
Yeah, well, Troy Key is in 10th place at the moment, and he is around about 4 seconds to 5 seconds up the road, isn't he?
It's going to take something external, isn't it?
It's got more and more overcast. Just wondering if there are a few spots of rain in there, looking out the commentary box window.
Well, he's done it now, at last. Well, I didn't think it was going to happen for him, but it did. Just as he approached turn number 1, I didn't think he was going to be able to make it happen, but there comes a big lock-up.
Yeah, and suddenly now he's going to come under fire himself, isn't he?
Look how up the road Jan is now.
And they get Petrov coming after him in the other Van Amersfoort racing car, the Dutch team with a 2-strong entry for this year. Over the last few years, one of the front-running teams and a hugely experienced team, not just in Formula 3, but in many other single-seater categories for more than 40 years now, the Van Amersfoort squad.
And a really nice team, aren't they? You know, headed up by Fritz Van Amersfoort and Rob Niesing as well.
And as well to have a great end of career.
It was a culture shock for the guys involved, and of course where the particular culture shock, other than the manner in which they played on the field of play, was how they played off the field. So it was like, well, hang on a minute, you know, nutrition, dietary, stretch routines, everything that suddenly from nowhere, with this bespectacled guy who looked like a school teacher, who looked like a headmaster almost, and that he won over players who had some fairly checkered out of, you know, football activity lives. You know, I'm talking obviously about Ray Parlour, I'm talking about Tony Adams, I'm talking about guys who like to drink or whatever, and they all bought into it.
Yeah, of course I knew, and I was determined to change that. It was not easy, but I must say as well, I was really lucky because I found when I arrived here, I had 8 or 9 players who were around 30 or more, and they had not made big money before, you know, and they were all intelligent. They were all passionately lover of the games, and were ready for a challenge. If they believed I can extend their life, their football life, they were ready for it. And I must say, I could have faced stubborn people who were not open-minded, and that was my surprise. Challenge.
Arsene Wenger in the transfer market then was a genius.
It's a fantastic club. You know, my decision was on football, totally, and a great team, manager, the setup is geared up to win.
You put him in a quiz with around the world, from obscurity, players who's made into world.
He's happy to join us and to play with many great players, and as well happy to join Arsenal because he.
On top of that, early on, when it wasn't now a case of an oligarch or a sheikh, as Manchester City and Chelsea, you know, are able to buy virtually what they want, and they're able to pay incredible salaries. He was doing at the time a club that was always self-sufficient. It was how you run a club, but you never had that excess money.
He had an advantage over most managers at that time because he knew the French market, and very quickly he added to the quality that he had here.
And I think the other stroke of luck he had to English football, French football was entering its golden age, if you like. You know, win the Euros and win the World Cup. That a decade of producing absolutely fantastic players, worldies, and he had an insight before anyone else did to those players.